Hi, I'm Sagar Suri, founder of Iconic Dental Design Center. Welcome to the second episode of Decoding Dental Designs, where we take intricate cases shared by our dental lab partners. Let's translate the technical process into easy to understand insights, real cases, real challenges, and real results. So let's start with this case. It's a 4-unit case, all single crowns and all interiors. Here there is one implant on one of the central. So first step is adjusting the occlusion plane to register the face side of the scan. And in this case the annotation markings are already set, so we are skipping on to the next step. Let's set the insertion direction quickly from above, making sure that all the margins is visible to avoid undercuts. We are not changing the implant insertion direction just to avoid interference with the original insertion direction of the implant. And this is the model scan, and 3Shape has already marked rough margins. Therefore, just adjusting them a bit to make sure the fit is accurate. Let's put crowns in occlusion table and roughly design them. The first thing we noticed in this case that the gingiva is going to be problematic for the aesthetic aspect of this case. There are 3 crowns and 1 implant, and we can see gingiva around the implant is reduced as compared to the crowns. And in this case, on patient's left side, the gingiva between 1-1 and 1-2 is quite thick. This will make a gap around the embrasures between both the crowns 1-1 and 1-2. In this case, on the patient's left side, the gingiva between 1-1 and 1-2 is thick. This will make a gap around the embrasure between both the crowns 1-1 and 1-2. Whereas on the patient's right side, there is not such gingival gap or the interference, which will interrupt the mirroring of 1-2 and 2-2. So now placing the crowns onto their position using individual transformation tool and using morphing tool to fill out the lingual space, also making sure to shape out and close the embrasures. Also adjusting the height and width using the individual transformation tool. If we pay attention to the preparation for the crown 1-2 and 2-2, we can notice that 2-2 preparation is making the crown near the margin areas distally to be more exposed. This will make 1-2, 2-2 look different near buccal distal area. Let's try to make them look as identical as possible. But for full contour zirconia cases and the cases where gingiva interfere occurs, it becomes very difficult to make the case look aesthetic. We need to design the abutment in triangular shape according to the lab partner's instructions and parameters shared with us. Putting the margins subgingival, making sure the angulation of the abutment matches the crown, and making sure the length of the abutment is enough for retention, and here leaving about 2 mm space for the zirconia. Here we are just shaping out the abutment according to the specific lab standards, and also leaving buccal identification mark to identify the buccal side, as lingual and buccal side may look similar once it is milled. So now we can see that the crowns are adapted automatically onto the margins. The reason we designed the crowns is almost fully is because the designed crown silhouette helps in designing abutment and minimize the chance of crown design being distorted. Now making and refining the line angles with the help of a sculpt tool, as you can see, filling out the crown where it is under the minimum thickness using the sculpt tool and morphing tool. Also, there isn't enough space in bite, and lower bite is hitting the crowns incisal edge, so we have to reduce the crowns to avoid opposing crowns hitting each other. But unfortunately, as we can see, the minimum thickness is restricting us to do so. Here the only option we will have to fill the minimum thickness areas, and the opposing will adjusted by the doctors, as you know the crown preparation is too high. Also, there isn't enough space in the bite and the lower bite is hitting the crowns incisal edge. Also, we have to reduce the crowns to avoid opposing crowns hitting each other. But unfortunately, as we can see, the minimum thickness is restricting us to do so. Here, the only option will be just to fill the minimum thickness area as we have done, and the opposing will be adjusted by the doctors as the crown preparation is too high. The crowns shouldn't be too bulky from the buccal, so I am adjusting the crowns with a morphing tool. Again, refining the whole design using all the tools to make sure the embrasures are closed and the line angles are matching as much as possible. But in the case the crown preparation is not, it's not good, which will restrict the design aesthetics. The crowns shouldn't be too bulky from the buccal, and we are adjusting the crowns with the morphing tool, again refining the whole design using the tools, all the tools to make sure embrasures are closed and line angles are matching as much as possible. But in this case, the crown preparation is not good, which will restrict the design aesthetics. Let's adjust the contacts between crowns using the plane cut tool, and this tool will help us to remove the crown in the axis of the plane cut disc. We are using this tool to remove the crowns interproximally. This will make sure our crown can fit perfectly after milling, smoothing out the rough edges after the plane cut and reducing the tissue pressure, which is really important. Lastly, giving the screw hole into the implant crown. But if it would have been on the buccal side, we would have not given the screw hole. In this case, the screw axis is at lingual side, just how we want, continuing the screw hole, finishing the case. Thank you.